Can you share one of those times that you were just alluding to where you were arrested and were you physically harmed?
I was like arrested multiple times and by multiple people. So first I was arrested by the Syrian government, and then I was arrested by Al Qaeda and eventually ISIS. So of course, like for you, like when you were like part of the protest asking for freedom and peace, it's not something for their favor. So it was like different kind of torture. So it's hard like to talk about it. So the thing is, they kept inventing different ways like to torture people from to prevent them like from saying the truth or being out in the street or asking for freedom or peaceful life. So the physical harm was bad in a way that I couldn't walk for a long time, so I had to stay home. And in some point, I thought that there were like some expectations that I wouldn't be able to walk, but like thankfully I'm here walking normally.
Thankfully, and thank you for deciding to share that story, Abdulaziz. I know that there are a lot of difficulties around that, so I appreciate you sharing that. And I ask you that question because that clearly, therefore, has an equal and opposite reaction to you personally, and that you want to give more energy and you want to do more, right? And tell me about what you have done, where you have found those engaging with your storytelling and what you're doing. Who are the ones that are engaging more? What are they saying when they are engaging with you on these very important stories?
So if I got to your question right, so the thing is we've been having like different engagements as like the new now as colleagues working like all over the world. So recently we've been focused, like me personally, I've been focusing on education and peace building. So we've been opening schools in former ISIS territory. So whatever area that ISIS was defeated from in Syria, would open schools like teaching people about freedom and peace building, because such terrorist group, when they take over, they brainwash the people and they get them into a way that they would think differently. And for us, we found out that's important, that we need to go and re-educate people about what happened to them, the trauma that they've been through, and how they can overcome it. So that was like one of the main projects and the engagement that we've been working on the ground. And my colleagues also have been working on different things. So I have my colleague Roya. She leads the Afghani robotic team. She has been opening school all over, focusing on women and tech. We have my colleague Victor, that he work also on peace in Africa. So he go and try to talk with young people who were recruited by militias, trying to convince them to step back and get back into education. And I have like many other colleagues that they are all doing amazing work.
When you put your head down for a rest at night, what makes you say, I'm doing my little bit, I'm doing okay? Tell me about what you're kind of focusing on in terms of progress. What makes you feel like, Abdulaziz, I'm doing the right thing?
So the thing is, it wasn't like an easy thing to start with, like in the beginning. Like I started as a journalist,
Sure.
and I had no idea, where I would end up. So, and I've been through like a long, difficult journey, and through that journey, I've lost colleagues, family members that they paid their life as a cause for the fight that we're fighting for. So for me, it feels like it's become like a responsibility, that something I have to do for them at least, and for other people, hoping that the next generation would have like a better life than the life that we had. So when you are in places where there is conflict and it's way far from peace, and when you get out of there and see how other people living peaceful life, that's what you hope for your family, for your relatives, your friends back home. So, and the thing is, when you don't lose the thing, you don't know its value. And if you never experience something, it's hard for you to explain it. So for me, when I got out of Syria, when I was forced to leave Syria and going like to different places, and I saw where people can like walk peacefully in the street, they can express their like political opinion without being arrested, they can protest peacefully asking for change. Here where I noticed that that's something can happen like to my people, can happen to other people. Right now 50% of the world live under authoritarian governments, and we live in the era of technology and information. So with internet, with small things, people were able to make big change. So empowering youth has been like an important thing that I've been working on. So before I go to bed, I always try to educate people, to spread awareness, do everything I can do, whether through writing, through through talks, through I teach, through teaching, or other methods that I can, other methods that I have and I have access to. So for me, that's what I think about before I go to bed and when I wake up in the morning.
And we're so glad for everything that inspires you. In your family, who inspires you?
I would say my siblings. So because
Which one?
I grew up. So I have like a brother that passed away. So he was like the main. He's like he passed away through the war, or like he was killed. So he was like kind of a spark for me, like to keep doing what I'm doing. So and for me, when I think like what he did, like he gave his life for the fight that we're fighting. So for me, I was like what I'm doing. So he gave his life. So he's been like the main inspiration so far.
What was his name?
Musa.
And how long ago did you lose him?
In 2015.
What did he say to you that you remember that inspires you today to do what you're doing?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Did he say that in English?
No, in Arabic, of course.
And how do you say that? What did he say?
خليك تسوي اللي عم تسوي.
And did you know at the time when he said that it would mean so much to you today?
Yeah, of course, because like at the time everyone was saying me like stop doing what you're doing because I was arrested multiple times. So people knew like whatever I was doing, it was leading me to end up in jail, being tortured or whatsoever. So everyone was like, hey, what you're doing, stop doing what you're doing. So people, they were like kind of concerned about me being killed or not leaving jail at all. And for him, he believed in me. So he kept like pushing me. I was like, keep doing what you're doing. So for me, I knew it like from the first day, and I knew it when he passed away.
How did he pass away?
It's a long story. I would rather not to get into.
I understand. Thank you for sharing that story. We all have inspirations, right? And Abdulaziz, as you do these amazing things, we know often our intuition, our drive to get up every day, as you were describing, comes from those experiences, and your brother is not forgotten, certainly.